Um, I just wrote something a little bit ago to Shalimar, bless your about gold, right? She said the gold standard. She said gold currency standard. Currency, money, numbers, current, electrical current. Okay, negative electrical current, positive electrical current, reverse flow, forward flow, torque, speed, drive motors, right? Clocks, spin a top to the right, spin a top to the left, right? You got two hemispheres, right? And then you have the quad, right? Four square, right? The function of a quad, which is a function of four. What is the function of four? Fire. So we use numbers as symbols to explain underlying causality of how energy works, because we're experiencing the energy in the mirror, the magnets. We're experiencing the speed of our vibration. When you're lit on fire, oh man, do we love that fire. Yeah. So that can always be experienced by how much fire you have for creation, or how much fire we have to create with. So I remember a time when I was in a window with another window, right, between two mirrors, if you will, one that's dead. I'm a living mirror, which is a living spirit that is on fire with an oversoul, a monopole. So you know that a hyperdrive means hyper acceleration. What are we accelerating? Like a ninja. Spin ratio. Harmonics. Harmony. And so even though we use different words in the English language, like we use the word love and we use the word peace, right? And I know that that my clan mother and the tribes put peace. We're at peace. We're at peace. I am what love is. It began with what love is, because that's what I am. So love is my energy identity. That's my vibration identity. Okay. So it's like being one. In other words, all inclusive. Like it's all integrated into one, a monopole. Okay. So I wrote back to her about being a monopole, and you understand the implication of monatomic gold, and now we're going to get into the Anunnaki. So this is for, excuse me, dear lady, if I don't pronounce the letters as numbers or energy correctly as you choose to describe yourself in energy, how you pronounce your name in sound. I believe it's Elena, Eleana, Diane. She's a French lady. I believe she said at one time she was a druid, right? And she has her own channel where has a relationship with Thorin, I believe it is, and was revealing a lot of information, right? Okay, so I'm not one of those self-correcting tapes, if you will, in sort of the way that that's translated, which means I'm not going to self-correct who you are, because you're on your journey, okay? But I got to self-correct what I am based on what I know, based on what I've experienced, which is true through the energy in which I'm experiencing it, which is the teacher, which is the spirit, which is in the light, which is purified. So I do know what gold is, which is called a gold standard, which is the standard of a goddess. Okay, flux, capacitor, the capacity. to experience an acceleration of a hyperdrive. So a monopole is monatomic gold. Okay. That's the gold standard. The gold standard is the girl standard. Okay. The male standard is the X. When the X, when the God and the goddess choose to, I don't ever want to be separated from you, girl. Not ever, not ever. The girl side of the universe. The girl side of just the way, it's just energy. It's the way it just works in energy. So we can use girl with the GIRL, right? Use little letters because we were all programmed, because it's all in memory, what girl is in the English language, okay? Because you can see what a girl is, whether it's a male or a female in nature, whether it's a bear, right? A fox, right? A raccoon, a bobcat, right? A snake, a lizard. Take your pick. The biodiversity of all of it. Biodiversity of all creation, right? So I mentioned to her what happens when a particular race, and this would be for Elena, because she was talking about how the Anunnaki, in sort of a context in which somehow this particular race of beings that represent consciousness, which is energy and soul and spirit, they're fallen. Okay. Don't kid yourself. That's a fallen race. Okay. Because going around and using technology in which to try and fake your way through or get into places that your energy is now in there by virtue of what you do with your energy, which is your consciousness, of what you do with souls, and then you strip the accelerator of a goddess out of the planet. That's also against the law. Okay. Did you ever bother asking her, Madam, we need some gold as a result of what we did to ourselves. Help us out, please. And then the net result of that, the network result of that, it's going to slow the speed down. Reverse flow. Hey, guess what? Now the Anunnaki and the Draco, now that we're down to slow down the accelerator of the planet, now we can use that planet as an animal farm, a DNA farm, harvest souls and harvest energy till kingdom come. Yeah. So they're not your friends. Okay. She mentioned how they controlled the entire galaxy, right? All the resources, all the energy, right? So you realize what they represent, right? Those are other lawbreakers, which are circuit breakers, which are broken arrows, which are broken minds, which are fallen spirits. So at this level of creation, it is true what Patty said. There is an enormous amount to account for because the universe of atoms has to account for itself, because otherwise it's going to lose its course direction, because now it doesn't know where it's going. Whack-a-mole, right? That means that consciousness atoms naturally are in balance, because that's the highest intelligence that's at work, that naturally flows that way in water worlds, atom spheres. And so when I mentioned that to her, that, hey, the gold standard, gold's coming back online at a higher acceleration going forward, that's positive electrons. That's the law. That's the acceleration law of balance at the center point of a gyroscope. Neuro-ions. The eye is on. The eye is always on. So that's sort of a way in which it makes it really actually simple, which is one of the reasons why when I grew up as a kid, and this is just a footnote in history, but when my father first set up a bank account at Security Pacific Bank, Calm Bank, no, and they put the little cages, you know, in the old days they had tellers with the bars. This is where we get into the inverted programming, because you realize what a jail is. A jail has bars. You're in a cage. So the bank is in a cage. So now your consciousness is realizing the bars. So that when you walk up to the bank teller, you're seeing bars in front of your face. Same way that they use picket fences, walls, and all the rest of that. Right? Like when I was going to high school, there weren't any bars. Okay? In other words, you could just walk right into the quad, what was known as a quad, which means you could walk through the entire class, right, where all the classrooms were, go into the gymnasium, go out onto the field, right? And now take a look at them. They're prison compounds. And they do that on purpose to program that into the minds of children and adolescents and high school and all the rest of it, right? Because it's all based on prisons. Prisons that are built within the mind, which is inverted, which holds the mind captive, which is a maze. That's what a maze runner is. That's what a Blade Runner is. And now we're into the AI, and now we're into all the super soldier stuff. So when Patty Broussard said that it got perverted, it got perverted. Because it's not natural, Peter. That's for Peter the Insider. He knows. He knows it's not natural. Because it's not natural, pure light, which is on fire, which is gifting electrons. And so now this is where sort of everything comes full circle, which is called full exposure, which is known as full disclosure. Okay. That means no more hiding under the tents, behind the screens, no more pretenders. Remember, what was it? I heard this the other day with Jack Nicholson. They can't handle the truth. Isn't that what 107? Oh, trust me. We can handle the truth because it began with us. That's why we have to account for it. Ultimately. From the beginning and the end of day one. That's knowing the difference between one and the other. Have a great day. We love you all. We have been successful. Thank you, Mama. We love you all.